This episode is brought to you by Zola. To sign up with Zola and receive a $50 credit towards your registry, go to zola.com/braincandy.
Okay, how did you know I was going to do that?
I have no idea.
What? We are in sync.
It's actually getting weird.
It is.
Like, we keep doing things like we're one human.
I think that and now Susie is sitting over here looking at me with a brand new pair of specs on. And don't you know I'm going to go fill my prescription and get a new pair of glasses.
Can you get them similar, too?
I will. Because I'm
right.
like, dang, those look good. I'm probably going to, measure them and try them on and be like, I'll just take the ones she has.
This is episode 230, everyone.
Oh, I forgot we were doing a podcast.
We are recording Sarah. She gets real it's like Clark Kent, but the girl version.
I know.
I put these glasses on.
Yep.
It's like the opposite, though.
It's totally the opposite.
Right.
It's like how Clark Kent emerges from a phone booth. It's like you just went in, but I'm inside the phone booth being like, I love you.
Come back.
Come inside and be with me.
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, Suze.
Oh, my God. I got a lot of stuff.
Oh, you do, huh?
I really do. Okay, let me start with this.
Yeah.
Did you read about how the Truman Show, the movie, is 20 years old, which is hard to believe. And obviously, you've seen it, right?
Of course.
Okay. And obviously, as somebody that was on reality TV, this movie is, it was prescient, really, because it kind of predicted what's going on now.
Totally.
In a way. Anyway, there was an article in, I think, Vanity Fair where they interviewed Jim Carrey and all the people involved.
Oh, interesting.
It was really fascinating because they wrote the film and completed the script before the first Real World even came out.
Really?
Which I didn't know.
Oh my gosh, I would have never guessed that. I would have thought that it was almost
inspired by
like a rebuttal.
Because it didn't come out until my show was about to premiere. So it took a minute, but how crazy that they predicted.
Isn't that kind of how it works though? That what is the saying? Art predict there's a saying about
life imitates art.
Life imitates art. Thank you.
Yeah. And so he talked though about Jim Carrey struggled with parts of it and he felt really drained by the process.
Question. Did he do this before or after the Andy Kaufman movie? Did he do it after? Before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, Man in the Moon came out after.
I was thinking Man in the Moon made him tired.
Yeah, right.
And that he did and that's why he was tired. That would be my guess. That was, but that's not true because he did Truman Show before.
Yes. One thing that he said in the article was, he was disturbed when he did a scene in the movie where he's supposed to fall out of that boat.
Yeah.
And then the director directs there to be a big storm so that he almost drowns.
Yeah.
And then he did almost drown in real life.
Making that?
Yeah, they had divers beneath him and the panic sign was a fist. And he was you can see it in the film. He's making...
Oh, for goodness sake, the panic sign needs to be something a little more obvious than a fist.
Good point.
That's like a reflex in many situations.
Right.
That's dumb.
And
that's like your safe word is stop. Or the opposite of that.
That's such a good point.
That's like a really crappy one.
Right. And he said that the divers either didn't see it or whatever, and he for real almost died.
And that is a terrifying feeling.
Right. He's going down.
That's a very scary feeling. It gives you too much time to think in those few seconds. They go on for too long.
And he said that experience of almost dying and then having this film about
overexposure.
Whatever. Yeah. And he said he thought, did I just sign off to this whole thing, this whole idea of being a crowd-pleasing guy? Did I just sign out? I think I did to a certain extent. Like when he walked out of the Truman Show, you remember the scene where he walks off set and closes the door.
About this. Yeah.
And he said, in a way, he was walking out the door too, and he was done being Mr. Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
You know? And he really did change after that. And you kind of point out the Man in the Moon is a different...
I think that almost is like But I watched that Andy Kaufman documentary, the Man in the Moon documentary, and the Jim Carrey one. What is it called? It was so good. It was phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. It is so good. But I think he was going through an identity crisis that was happening parallel to this. That there was an overlap in his own personal journey to,
peace, maybe.
Yeah, but even just, I think a lot of actors are trying on. I mean, we've talked about. I think I've said this before, and I recently heard it in. You know where I heard it? I finally watched the Howard Stern and
David Letterman.
Yeah. Or no, the Howard Stern comedians in cars getting coffee, and he talks about how that's how comedians are.
Yeah. Right. Like you have to make a choice who you're going to be. And
and he said that actors are, thank you, help me remember. Actors are trying on many different hats, and they don't know who they are, so they're trying on a lot of different hats. Comedians know exactly who they are. And it's so sad they have to make it funny.
Yeah.
And so there's a difference between being an actor who's funny and a comedian. They're not the same.
True.
They're not the same. You could be a comical actor, but it's different than a comedian. And how Jim Carrey is an actor who's he's a comical actor who's trying really hard to figure out what it all means and who he is and what his role is in it all.
He says it occurred to him that he felt, I love you, like meaning the public, but I can't be what you want me to be. I'm going through the door. I'm bitter that you used me, that I was everybody's show but my own, and I was the only one that was left out of the joke, but I'm going to live my life now. And I was like, I get that.
Yeah.
Because when you're on these shows as well, there's a feeling of, I'm everybody's commodity.
I feel like that too.
Yeah. And that's why, for me, this show has been such a savior because we get to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a fascinating
article. That is
article.
So layered.
Yeah, and, the reality TV thing has changed so much over the years and obviously become a beast that you can't even unpack as one thing. There's different whatever, but I thought it was interesting, and I cannot believe it's been 20 years.
I think there needs to be, what I would really love for the future of reality television, it needs to unionize. There needs to be some sort of, even though it won't, but the same way actors were like, whoa, we are getting, the runaround here. Let's get, all that SAG.
They get around that so well by getting people who will... Yeah. They would do it for free,
right?
Including me. When I was 18, I would have been like, I'll pay you to get on your show.
It's like now, but I watch these people who are coming back on The Bachelor and things like that, and they're repeat, they come back for all these
Yeah, I know a few of those people.
Right? It just seems like there's no net. There's nobody looking out for these people.
Right. And a lot of the people that make the shows really, I think they truly believe that why would we look out for you? This is an opportunity of a lifetime that we're giving to you.
They don't see the other side of it.
Yeah. And I think it would be impossible unless you've been, in that position.
Well, because it's the same as social media or anything. It's whatever picture the production company or whoever is running it wants to paint.
Yeah.
They can make it look like it's all fun and games all the time. The same way people were like, whoa, you lived in such a cool house in the real world. And I was like, little do you know, every single screw was only screwed in halfway because they were in such a rush to make the set. I'm not kidding. Halfway screwed in. Every single screw.
That's got to be a metaphor for something.
It's got to be. The paint, when they walked me in there, they walked us in there blindfolded for some reason. And all I could remember was the smell of fresh plywood, freshly cut wood, and fresh paint. The paint was still drying on the walls when they put us in and not only that, but they didn't even bother painting any more than 7 feet up the wall because, when you use a roller and you can kind of see those, natural edges of the paint roller when you don't tape off the ceiling, it was like that.
Right.
It was just painted up till 7 feet.
I mean, the symbolism, of course, of them making something that just will last long enough to get you through production is obviously true for the cast as well.
Just be...
You're
just
temporary.
Yes.
You fit the suit.
Yeah. And we'll replace you with somebody new and shiny who's...
Right, a fresh paint coat.
A fresh coat of paint. That's totally true.
By the way, Sarah.
Yes.
You're looking adorable.
Thank you. You like the shirt?
I do. What is it?
It was a Poshmark find.
Okay, did you get a deal?
Yeah. Oh my God, like $5 is like what I'm paying for shirts.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Poshmark app is so cool, and we have tons of stuff listed in both of our closets. I'm Sarah Rice, and I'm Susie Meister.
I see a bunch of you are following my closet now.
I know.
Thank you for that.
I know. I've been
and
following people
stuff.
back, like the Brainiacs. I'll follow them back because they have cool clothes too.
Yeah, and we always have like similar styles. Like nerdy girls dress alike.
Unite. If you want to try it, go to like iTunes or wherever and download the Poshmark app. You can create a closet if you want to sell stuff, or you can just buy stuff if you're feeling like it. And basically, they have women, kids, men stuff, and you can search by your favorite brands or like luxury bags if you want.
I love that
fancy.
you create like a style profile for yourself with all your sizes in there. So anytime you go searching for anything, it automatically filters everything to only let you look at the things that fit you, the stuff you like. It's like,
because that was a downside to other options
because
that
it's
I've
like,
tried.
I fall in love with this pair of shoes, but it's a size 8,
9,
and I'm like not that. So
if you want to clean out your closet, do it and put stuff on Poshmark. It's a free app. And then use our referral code, which is I'm Sarah Rice, at I'm Sarah Rice, and you'll get $5 off your first purchase. Our closets are up and running. We have stuff in there if you want to buy our stuff.
Yeah, your jeans are real cute.
Thank you, Sarah. That's at I'm Sarah Rice, and you get $5 off your first purchase. And you can make an offer too, like pick what your price is that you want to offer and see what the buyer says. And sometimes they'll counter, or sometimes they'll just accept it or give you a special discount. So give that a try. Why did they invite you in blindfolded?
I don't know.
Was that on camera?
No, it was. I think what happened is we were like, there weren't a lot of places for them to shoot in Brooklyn, a lot of like studio space for them to do interviews. So they wanted to interview us before we
even went anyone
into the house. So we did our first interview. They blindfolded us, walked us into the back room where we would do our interviews. I got interviewed, and then they walked me out.
This is the craziest story.
And the whole time I'm like, okay, I could almost paint a landscape based on the smells I was getting. I was like, okay, we got new wood over there, so they probably just rebuilt. And I was like, okay, I'm probably in like a warehouse because they had to add walls. I was like,
and like, what were the acoustics? It was like a warehouse.
Yeah,
sound.
I knew. I could hear that I was like in an open area that they built walls in. I was like, okay.
And then when you're in the house, I'm sorry, but this is fascinating because I wasn't on your show.
Yeah.
But like above you are just lights.
Just and
set
scaffolding
lights.
And like
scaffolding.
We were in it used to be a
industrial
catering company, and I think that's what it turned into. Or it was just on the wharf, and it was a big empty warehouse, and so it's exactly whatever the ceiling looks like. All those pipes and not scaffolding, but like the insides,
hardware,
the guts,
crazy
of the building. Exactly what you'd see in like a cool LA hair salon where you're overpaying for a cut. That.
And did you ever go into the control room?
No. The one time we were going to be allowed in was like the day. Listen, Suze, you know how much of a rule follower I am. If you I have a fear of authority figures. Really, is it? So I have a big fear of getting in trouble, whether it's from the cops or like I'm never doing anything bad, and I'm always like, oh my God, what if I get pulled over? Like the worst, So I'm always scared of authority figures. So I was terrified of the authority figures that were what I thought were authority figures, the producers and blah blah blah. And so they gave us the opportunity to go. So I never broke the rules. And so they gave us the opportunity to go back in the control room. We were going to do like a meet all the crew, blah blah blah.
On the final day, you're saying?
Like the day before the final day. And we all got in a huge fight that day. So in the 5 minutes before they were going to bring us back into the control room, a big old fight with all the roommates breaks out. And
what were you fighting about?
We were fighting, it was like JD, and it was like when he smashed the table and got mad at me for,
What had you done? I don't know.
I still don't know myself. But
That's so
I'm
sad.
not really sure. I think what I was mad at is that I really tried to bring everybody together. Like, I had made this, I had like, you know, I'm all like art therapy, and I like bought this big piece of canvas, and I was like, oh, we're all do different sections of it. The section that I like allocated to Ryan from the show, he took a butcher knife too and cut his section out.
Why?
And I was like so sad, because I'm like, not only did you like, that's like super insulting to me, but you ruined it you destroyed this camp. Everybody else put their work into it, and you cut a hole through the middle.
What was his motivation?
And he was like, that's my contribution, or like, I don't like, whatever, like that's, I don't know. It was not good.
So he didn't go into
like
the
a big
control
F
room
you.
as a result.
And then we got in this huge fight, and basically the producer was like, this is gold. Get the cameras. Like, they didn't have enough time to, you know,
Wow.
They what do you call it? Like, rallied the troops, because they're like, guys, come out, you know, and come out, just stop like relaxing back there, thinking it's your day off, and they're going to come hang out with you. They're in a fight. Come film this.
No.
Yeah. So.
And that
we
was
ruined
that.
And then I never got to see the control room.
Wow.
So there you go.
All right. Well, that was an interesting tale behind the scenes of the real world.
You know
I'm
what
always
happens.
shocked by what I still don't know. All the cast members I interview, all the
There's so
stories
much
I've
stuff.
heard. But everybody has months worth or sometimes years worth
Yes.
of their own version of the story.
And it's always different. You could ask Ryan, he'll give you a different version of how that happened, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just fed up. I was like fed up with them doing stupid shit. I was fed up with rats in my bed. I was fed up with everything.
Yeah, when I watched those pranking ones, I was like, boy, that wouldn't work out for me.
I was like not.
I know you were
participating.
involved. I hate pranksters.
I know. It's one of those things, if you can't beat them, join them. And I was like, look, we're not, I thought it was going to be like a.
But it always escalates.
It did. Oh, that's it. It always escalates. Boys are the worst.
Oh my God. All right. Any hoodles.
Any hoodles.
Are you excited about the new blue color crayon?
What? Can they even top cerulean?
My God. This literally is a new blue that was discovered by scientists.
Stop it. Right now I have goosebumps. I'm so excited. I didn't even know I could be this excited about a new color. This is deep, man.
Yeah.
Because did you even just hear yourself?
I know.
New color discovered by scientists.
Right.
That's like saying, hey, you know all those cool colors you see? There's more, but you don't even know about them yet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's not a naturally occurring blue. They had to create it through like metal. Like combinations of metal and synthetics. And
What does it look like?
It's beautiful.
I bet it is.
You should pull it up.
I bet the fact that we can't make it, nature makes it. Yes, is why. But the same thing. Why
It's
rare
so
things
rich
are beautiful
and
to us.
bright.
Okay.
So a few years ago is when they came out with that they discovered the blue, and it's the first.
Part of me is like, I don't want to see it. What if it doesn't meet my expectations?
It's pretty, and blue is a fascinating color because here's what I don't get. We've talked about this before. It's all across cultures. Blue was the last color
to
word
be seen, right?
but it's in the sky, and that's what's a little
But
weird.
like, is it?
Right.
That's the thing we like don't know.
Right, but it's this thing.
If you guys haven't heard our episode where we talk about colors and we
It's a
watch
good
the video,
one.
you have to go back and listen to it. It's so good.
It's like a mind bender.
It's really will make you think like
What's true?
I felt the same thing about that stupid Laurel Yanni thing. I'm like, what am I hearing? What's true? Because we're arguing different colors. We're like,
Yeah.
that's so crazy to me still that certain cultures don't, like tribes cannot see those colors.
Yeah. What? In this color in particular, they're excited about because unlike cobalt, which was the previous
Right.
last blue that they came out with,
Yeah, your traditional blue, if you will.
this one is stable. It reflects heat and it doesn't fade. So they're super stoked about it. And now it was optioned or whatever you call it by Crayola. So they're making a crayon out of it and they need you to name it.
Well, they said they already named it.
What?
Beautiful.
When did this happen? They were just asking for the name like 2 days ago.
Crayola announces new color name.
When is that date?
No, September 14th. That's way old.
It's
a
new one.
Beautiful.
It's a new one.
Yeah, also that's a dumb name because I can barely say it.
You usually love puns.
Yeah, but I don't like that one because it's too easy.
Yeah.
That's a gimme.
Right.
That's like, hey, Lincoln, what should I call this? I don't know, Bluetiful. Okay, well, it'd be really cute if you said it, but Crayola, you got a bigger staff than that.
Right. Well, anyway, I'm really glad you're happy about that.
I'm really, really, really happy. Not so happy that they just decided to toss out the color dandelion.
Oh,
they
why?
got rid of that
one? Why are you sad about it?
They're replacing the dark yellow. Oh, so you know how they have packs of like 64. When a new one comes in, old one got to kick the curb.
Yeah.
So
they can't make new boxes.
No, they can't be like, oh, this is going to be a pack of 66 crayons. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and they can't get rid of any of the skin tones.
Right. So they got rid of dark yellow, dandelion.
I think it was time.
You know what? You can like mix yellow and brown.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You can also mix water and liquid IV, and you get a delicious
super hydration. My husband's been all about those since he got food poisoning in Mexico.
Right. It's
I'm
great
pretty
for
sure they're
when you're
keeping
sick.
him alive now.
Liquid IV is so great because it comes in these powder packets that you can take on an airplane, or if you're like Landon and you're coming back sick, you can take it for that or help prevent jet lag. My kid loves it as an alternative to like juice or anything like that. Yeah, because it's got vitamins and potassium, all this stuff that's good for them instead of like sugar. It's non-GMO, electrolyte drink mix, vegan, free of gluten, dairy, and soy. And here's what's crazy: it has provides the same hydration as drinking 2 to 3 bottles of water in just one bottle or one glass.
So why are we drinking any of it? Come on.
I know. I love Liquid IV. I know you will too. My son loves it. Right now, our listeners get 20% off Liquid IV. It's at liquid-iv.com when you use our code BRAIN at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order on Liquid IV's website. Go to liquid-iv.com and enter promo code BRAIN to get your savings and start getting better hydration. Or if you're hungover, I know you people. That's liquid-iv.com, promo code BRAIN. Don't wait. Get hydrated today.
I mean, for all those people out there doing like 6 shots of tequila like crazy person.
We know how you are. We've heard about you cast members, one in particular. Yeah, so that's fun. What else do you want to talk about?
Ooh, I've got some trivia for you, but I got to pull it up. Let me see where it is.
About that.
It's bee trivia.
You mean the insect?
Yeah, not the letter.
Okay.
Let me find it.
I don't know a lot about bees. In fact, until recently, I didn't even know like the difference between a wasp and a hornet.
Well, that's what I was so shocked at because I follow this great website called what's it called? It's called like attention.com. Do you follow them?
No.
Oh my God, you should. They give you all like they're totally would be fans of the Brain Candy podcast. I know it. But as I was following them, they were like, hey, what do you know about bees? Do you know these things? And I was like, no. Looks like I know absolutely nothing about bees. And so I wanted to ask these trivia questions to you and see if you got them. Okay, so the first one is...
I'm not going to get these.
You are. How much honey does the average worker bee produce in... I'll give you 2 options.
Okay.
It takes a group of honey... Okay. Let me find it. How much honey does the average worker bee produce in her lifetime? Is it 2 pounds or 1/12 of a teaspoon?
What? One bee?
Yeah, 1 bee. 2 pounds or 1/12 of a teaspoon.
I guess I would have said 2 pounds.
Also what I said. Not true. 1/12 of a teaspoon.
That is not very much.
I know. That's a lot of work for a very little payoff. Okay, ready for this next question?
Oh, my God.
It takes a group of honeybees how many pounds of flour to produce 1 pound of honey?
You mean flour like the plant?
Yes. So it takes a group of honeybees 200 pounds of flowers or 2 million pounds of flowers to produce 1 pound of honey.
Come on. There's no way.
Go ahead, say it.
It's not.
It is.
2 million?
2 million pounds of flour to produce. Look, that's the answer right there.
That cannot
on their
be
website.
true.
Yes.
Sarah, come on.
It's true.
I don't even think the Earth has 2 million flowers. Wow.
Last one. Not last one. Second to last one. Which bees have stingers? The males or the females?
Males. No. Come on. I thought all of them were male except the queen.
The females.
Is that false? I just told Lincoln that. You're telling me...
No, the worker bees, they just call her
Aren't
that.
they all men? You're kidding.
It's
Some of
not
them are
like that.
ladies?
Yeah, and the queen bee only gets her name like that because she's like bigger. Like it's not...
What?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of weird things about bees that we think we know, but it's actually like, you have no idea. Yeah.
I am upset. Now I'm going to have to read a book about bees.
You probably.
How am I supposed to save them if I don't even know what they're all about?
Mm-hmm. True.
I truly believe that all the worker bees or drones or whatever they call them were boys. And then that one lady was like, fucking all of them.
Mm-hmm. Not true.
Jeez. Well, that's a relief for her then, because I was really... Hold on a minute. Hold on.
And
Hold on.
they also
Sarah?
say...
Hold on.
This just in. You know almost nothing about bees.
Thanks.
And everything you do know is wrong. Not you.
Okay, go
all
ahead.
of you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It says when I look up facts that the average worker bee produces only about 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in her lifetime. So I also think that all those worker bees are all female.
We have not been getting enough credit.
Oh, don't even get me started. I mean,
We're outraged.
gosh, female bees should definitely be wearing shirts with like feminist angry fists on them. Be like,
Right. Mm-hmm. Feminine. I'm going to write that down.
okay, so a colony of bees consists of 20,000 to 60,000 honeybees and one queen. Worker honeybees are all female and live for about 6 weeks and do all the work. Well, what the hell are the men doing?
And why do they die so soon?
They better say taking care of the baby bees. That's the only answer I'm okay with.
Wow.
They're in the nursery.
You are blowing my mind.
And the only reason that they call it a queen bee is because she's larger and she lives for 5 years and it's her role to fill the hive with eggs.
You would think, okay, so it is a lady.
So, yeah.
That's
so
not the
she's
only
like, the
reason
queen bee
that-
is just the one who's like making all the
but
bees.
They're
all
also
her babies.
calling her a queen because she's a lady.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. So the queen bee is not a dude. It's not like that.
Gotcha.
No, it's not just like he who sits
That's
in the
why I
throne
thought
is
you
a
were
queen.
blowing my mind.
No. The queen is definitely.
But the workers can be one or the other. They lay eggs as well.
Well, no, it says that the workers are female. So what the fuck are the boy bees doing?
Right.
Like for real, what are the boy bees doing? Because it doesn't say that in here.
I think these are all good questions.
It does say that they communicate with one another by dancing, which
So do we.
I love everything about bees so
Just
far.
like Sarah. That's how she communicates.
Oh, I'm a bad dance move.
That was really good trivia.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you for
couldn't believe the
sharing.
1/12 of a teaspoon thing.
It's not enough because, we waste honey.
Uh-huh.
We're just putting it in everything.
I know.
Little did we know.
Just so many bees.
It's like gold.
They do call it liquid gold.
They do.
Somebody does, I'm
No
sure.
wonder.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. See, this would have been a perfect transition to liquid IV.
Oh.
And I really didn't know.
You know what else is liquid gold?
Right.
There you go. That is it. You can put that in
Dang
there.
it.
Oh, well. It wasn't half bad before.
I was reading an interesting article about the psychological allure of karaoke,
Oh.
if you'd like to hear about that.
Is there anything that says why certain cultures love it way more than others?
Hold on. Say that again.
Is there anything in there
Sorry
that
about
says
that.
why certain cultures love it more than others? Or
Oh,
is-
that's a very good point. They
You
did
know?
not bring that up. Because you're referring to like Japanese culture.
They love it. They dragged my husband to a karaoke, and he just was like,
That's so cool.
and I was like, dude, didn't you sing Hello, Living on a Prayer?
They, right? That is very popular there. They didn't mention that, but they
well, like, what? Tell me about,
they were just describing how.
maybe we can make some assumptions.
Right. Okay.
Correlations that are very loose.
They were describing how the act of singing, as you're familiar, produces endorphins. It's really good for your, just
We should all
feeling
be singing
happy.
more.
Yeah. And so that is something that people are drawn to, that feeling that you get when you sing.
Okay.
And then that because let's say you normally, if you're comparing it to like just going to a bar.
Yeah.
It's hard to like meet somebody because you're like, how do you break the ice? But like karaoke, there's a
Definitely.
lot more of that, like, oh, you did good. I love that
Yes.
song. And there's also the factor of people tend to sing along with the person. And when you do that,
Collective effervescence.
yeah, it's just like being at church.
Yes.
Because you're singing at the same time, the same song.
And they're
It has
getting
a
excited
weird-
about it. That shows you the importance of your karaoke song pick.
True. I feel like I know It's Raining Men is a fantastic
If
choice.
we do that, we have to do a duet of it.
The problem with it is that it's a
not
very
sing-along.
hard song to sing because the Weather Girls really had some power voices.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Is that really what karaoke singing is about?
I don't know.
I'm going in there singing bad.
They said this song bad or
No.
Oh,
But good point. Fair question.
I was like, I had no idea
I'm
you
singing
loved Michael Jackson.
poorly.
Okay,
But I do love Michael Jackson.
What's your song though? That you choose?
I have a couple go-tos. Walk Like an Egyptian. The Divinals, I Touch Myself, depending on the crowd. If it's a late
Why?
night crowd.
You're kidding me.
Oh, because it's so funny. And
Get out of here. You're bold.
I've only done karaoke twice in my life, and those are the two songs I sang. So
My sister always says she's never gone to karaoke, but she's like, I would choose.
that's me. Yep.
She says she would choose I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. I'm like, why? She's like, it's a really good song.
That's great.
Maybe. They were saying in the article that one of the most popular choices is Alanis Morissette's You Ought to Know, and that people really get into it.
But you know what? That is a good sing-along one. Everybody loves going, yeah, 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 I don't know.
And they were saying that because you likely, if you choose that song, are singing it about somebody, that people can relate to that because we've all had a breakup or whatever.
Anytime I get mad at my husband, I'm always like, oh my God, if I did karaoke, I would totally karaoke this Beyonce song right now, and I would sing it to him, and I'd look right in his eyes.
So do you think,
Never in
like,
that
what would
scenario.
you choose though now?
Now?
Yeah, like,
Or
if
like
you
when
went
I'm
for
in a fight.
third time.
Now, well, geez. Now, you know what else is a really good karaoke song? Pretty much anything by
Journey.
Johnny Cash,
Oh.
I think for me is good because like I can sing that range.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I always like that song "You Can Leave Your Hat On."
What is that?
Oh, I think it's Joe Crocker, something like that. Cocker. No, is that his name?
I don't know.
You just wanted to say Cocker. Cocker, I hardly know her.
But if you were to meet somebody, though, at karaoke and you were to get married, then you'd have to register through Zola.
Yeah.
Because...
For only karaoke equipment.
You could.
Yeah.
That's what's funny.
Oh, my God. You could totally go on Zola and you can register for a karaoke machine and, like, probably from another place, like, seating for your guests.
Yes, Zola's awesome because it's a one-stop shop for registering for your wedding. You can plan your wedding and register there. They have a gazillion brands that you can choose from, so you're not limited to one store or one brand. And it's super convenient, makes it fun, unlike how it usually is. You can get really nice stuff. You can also do like gift cards for travel, like if you want to do a honeymoon thing, or food and wine subscriptions. You can do group options for the big ticket items so that all your friends can get together and buy you something you really want. And it's free. And they have a wedding suite where people will help you.
It's free?
Yes.
Well, heck, why aren't you doing this if you're getting married?
Not only that, but to sign up with Zola, you can receive a $50 credit towards your registry.
So basically they pay you.
Go to Zola.com/braincandy. And that's ZOLA.com/braincandy. And you get $50. And it's like really easy for guests as well. So that's fun.
Awesome.
Okay. So, and the other thing I want to say about karaoke is that they say that whenever you're at karaoke now, you tend to not be on your phone.
Oh, totally.
And so you feel that suspension of reality where you're escaping all the noise of the outside world, which I thought was interesting and a new development.
You know what? And I would add to that when you put yourself out there and when you are vulnerable in front of people and you're well received, which is what happened at karaoke. Nobody's like, oh, good. You're doing. Everybody's nervous to go up there, but everybody's well received. I mean, I've never been a bad karaoke audience member because you all know that you're going to go up there at some point too.
They did say that as well.
And
the audience tends to be really kind, and supportive of whoever is brave enough to do it.
So it would pull everybody together. People should go do karaoke together if they're like having a bad time getting along.
I know. Well, the one time that I went, I noticed that it's a lot of regulars, and so you kind of feel like, are you busting in on their scene?
Yeah. Well, listen.
I mean, I got some pipes. I don't want to.
You do.
I don't want to brag.
She sure does.
I don't want to intimidate people.
But then there's like, I went to karaoke once on Ventura Boulevard. There's like a famous karaoke bar that everybody goes to. A lot of set people, like a lot of crew people. So I was like, maybe you've been. But there was this woman who was a regular and took it way too seriously and was like waiting for her break. Like somebody's going to come in. But she always chose to sing songs that were like Whitney Houston style, whatever. Okay. But not, I want to dance with somebody. Like we're talking
I Will Always Love
B-side track that you've never heard of that happens to showcase her voice in a very special way, or like some song that is very obscure that was like Amy Grant from, wherever. And
Amy Grant.
It's
like a good reference.
Yeah, it was like that. Like where you're like,
baby,
yeah,
take it with emotion.
I love that song.
I mean, 1992, is it?
Yes, that probably
you were
was
like 10.
Stop for a minute.
Oh my God. Maybe that should be our song if we go to karaoke.
That's good. That's a good one. I mean, right after we do It's Raining Men.
Do you want me to talk about the guy that created the pink flamingo?
What? We know who is the creator of this?
Yeah.
Dude, Suze, I was at, my favorite store, the 99-cent store, and almost got a whole party's worth of, like, every single accessory, all flamingo featured, like, themed.
Oh, that's
Because I'm
cute.
like, they're so adorable.
Right.
But I'm, like, have no flamingo-themed party planned. So it would just be buying it to putting it in my storage.
But you know how I have a theory about last names.
Oh, what's his last name? Wait. I got to guess. It's going to be something tropical or, wait, something tacky.
No.
No?
No.
What is it?
Featherstone.
Okay.
It's, what's the word for bird that's not bird? Like
avian.
Yeah.
Avian.
Something like that.
Like Avarian or something. Or like,
yes,
it's
Featherstone.
And Featherstone. Come on.
He's no longer with us, but he only died a few years ago, and he is so cool because, by the way, this was posted on the Brain Candy Crush by one of our listeners.
Oh, cool.
And she was like, I knew Susie would be into this. And I am, because he was like a guy that didn't take himself seriously and was in on the joke. And so the article was great because it explained how he was in design school. He had officially, studied the art of
flamingos,
design,
Flocks.
architecture, just all that stuff. But like, he wasn't super into it, but he was like, I got to get a job. And it happened that the company that was hiring was like a lawn ornament company.
Yeah.
That wanted a designer.
Right.
And so they hired him, and he, in his career, made over 600 lawn ornaments. But he's most known, of course, for this flamingo. They told him they wanted a flamingo.
The polar bear wasn't really a go. People weren't
He did make Santa Claus.
Okay, there you go.
And luckily, National Geographic had done a story on flamingos, so he modeled it after those pictures. And
cute.
It took off in middle America, like, suburbia.
People who were very far away from flamingos and probably were like, I want to bring a little bit of the tropics to my...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And rich people mocked it, but...
Almost like kitsch.
Yeah, and thought it was evidence of bad taste. Mm-hmm.
But now they embrace it.
Yeah, instead of being offended by it, he said, hey, before that, only the wealthy could afford to have bad taste. Because if you look at like a lot of wealthy people's houses, you're like, what are you, Grecian? Like, what is going on there with the pillars or whatever?
Sure. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's house is like that too. I'm like, you have too much money.
Right.
Because you make poor design choices with it.
He's like, why can't we have some fun and put some silly stuff in our yard?
Yes, I love it.
And then it became associated with gay pride through the John Waters movie where it was featured.
Totally.
And at his funeral, he was draped in a flamingo pink sheet.
I love this.
He really embraced it. And he and his wife always dressed alike on purpose. They thought it was funny. and they had
They
a
would have
lot
hated
of
our previous episode.
right. They did mommy and daddy fashion.
Yeah.
And anyway, they did a lot of flamingo themed outfits.
I love that.
And stuff.
It's very like, what's the name of that photographer who was like from the 60s and photographed all the lifestyle people from Palm Springs? It's so fantastic.
I don't know who you mean, but I would be really into that.
You would love it. I'm going to show you some of his photos. It's very...
Along those lines, I also read an article about how tiki bars are coming back into fashion.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. With all the flamingo stuff is like super in. It's like that throwback. It's like mid-century modern party summer. Like summer, Palm
you're right.
Springsy. It's like that era.
They were
Retro.
saying like when tiki culture first came around, the mid-century, as you say, that it was because all the soldiers had come back from the South Pacific and Asia.
That's exactly what it is.
And like Polynesia, and they came back with all these exotic stories and like tikis and the hula girls and all that. Mm-hmm. And it was also a way of like escaping the tough reality of going back to life. And now a lot of people feel that way politically and culturally. It's a really tough time, I think, in America. And the tiki thing is a way for us to escape it all over again.
Totally. Slim Aarons. That's the name of that artist.
Is a man's name?
Yeah, Slim Aarons. And it's like this really cool throwbacky photographer. I mean, yeah.
I think it's cool. And I obviously, because we moved into that
style.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you'd love it.
I would love it.
It's
I should follow that like on Instagram, that hashtag.
Yeah.
Because since we moved into this mid-century house, I've been just more aware of when I see that look. And I'm like, it's such a cool time in American history.
Yeah. I mean, minus all the...
Oh, I don't want to go back to it, but the look.
With the look we like.
The colors and just sort of the style.
Yeah.
I guess it's back in fashion. We went to this antique shop, and they were saying, like, it basically is determined by who's dying a lot, because then you get all their stuff.
Yeah. Oh, my God. You are so right that those are the estate sales. Mm-hmm. Because my grandmother, the one I do not really have a relationship with on my father's side, oh, my God, I know she has not changed anything from her house. And she has those old tulip chairs that, like, are... They're like white, and they almost look kind of like an egg, but also like a tulip.
Yes.
And they have like bright colored cushions. Like she had bright yellow cushions. She even has those chairs where you can like
cozy up to her.
Right? You can scoot all four chairs in, and they like fit perfectly under the table. And there's like a whole look to that. Like,
I love that.
Everything's like Kelly green color, that like kind of green that's like baby.
It's so
food,
distinctive.
but I love it.
Pea
Avocado-y color. Yeah.
But that's what it is.
Shag
like
carpet.
Those people are dying. And so their crap gets taken to antique
that
shops and stuff. And so then you get used to seeing it again, and you think, oh, that's cute. Like 10 years ago, I would have been like, that's ugly.
Well, there's also something I think that plays to our like nostalgia, where because those are the things we saw in our grandparents' home, or like an echo of that in our grandparents' homes, that when we see it again, it's like familiar but new. Yeah. And people love that.
That's so
they
true.
Like fall for. They're like, oh my God, this looks just like.
Like even Tupperware at the Long Beach Antique Market, they have that. There's one stand that's all the retro Tupperware, and I'm like, that's what my mom had.
Right, and we like love it. Remember when they used to make them burp like that? I remember when the
Yes!
Tupperware like parties were at my house.
I'm gonna write that down.
I still have the Tupperware, which was my favorite buy. I was like, Mom, you have to buy this whole set because of this one salad or taco bar. Like
I know exactly
it's like
what
big
you're
and round
to.
with the hole in the middle, and there are all the stations. Yes, we owned that, and it was my favorite thing we ever owned. I was like,
probably in her storage.
It's in my house.
Oh,
I was like, no one's getting rid of that ever. It's perfect. You can put the lid on it. You take it to anywhere you go. You got a whole taco stand right there. I love it. It's genius. Nobody makes that these days.
I'm gonna need a picture of that.
Yeah, I hope I can find it.
Oh my God, you might not be able to find it.
I hope I can. I know that I saved it.
All right.
So I'm going to hunt for that. Or I'll be buying a new one on eBay.
And when you're buying it, make sure to also buy that 3-step acne wash that we both love so much. BioClarity.
I don't need to buy it. I got a full thing just sent to my house a little bit ago.
We were just talking to our friend Mariana about it because I get texts a lot from like my friends in real life, and they're like, God, tell me the truth. Do you really love BioClarity? Because I get it. I mean, there are a lot of options, and you don't want to waste your money. And I always am like, I really love it. And I do say, you got to be in the routine. You got to be committed and wash your face every day, you lazy ass. But it's so awesome. And now they have, in addition to the clear skin routine, which I use because I have problem skin, they also have the essentials routine for people who have better skin and they just want it to glow and look even better. It's cleanse, restore, hydrate. They have Floralux in it, which is that stuff in plants. So it's soothing. It doesn't inflame your skin. And it's delivered straight to you. It's easy to use. 3-step skin scare.
Yeah, where are we going there?
Skin boom. See, your skin was scared right into this routine. It's 100% vegan plus gluten and cruelty-free. Get started on a healthier habit with your skincare. You go to BioClarity.com. Our listeners will get their first month for 50% off. A routine plus shipping is also free, and it comes with a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee, but you need to enter our code BRAINCANDY. That's BioClarity.com, and our code is BRAINCANDY. What are you going to say? I know you're going to cry.
No, I mean...
the reason why I say that is I see her, like, getting out these emotional things.
Because I was just thinking, before we get into anything else, I wanted to make sure that I give a shout-out to the wonderful Brain Candy Brainiacs who are part of the Brain Candy... Well... Some were a part of the Brain Candy pen pal group who wrote me the sweetest card that I will be saving forever and ever and ever and will be looking at if I ever feel like I'm having a bad day. Danielle, Meg, Amanda, and Molly. And Brienne, you were so sweet for sending me what you sent. You sent me.
She cried.
I cried. So I just wanted to give a total shout out to you guys and say how much I love you.
They were very sweet.
Like, you guys just touched my heart. And I'm so grateful for the Brain Candy Brainiacs out there.
Well, and they were grateful to you for sharing about your miscarriage and your pregnancy issues.
And that's friendship, man.
It's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
We feel really lucky.
Oh, I'm so lucky.
And we also feel really lucky because we have a guest on today.
Woo!
Sarah was involved in this interview, which is always fun because sometimes we can't coordinate it like that.
Uh-huh.
And this author, Janna King, was one of our book club authors.
Oh, I'm so excited about this interview. Yes, I loved her.
Her book is called The Season Airs, and we really recommend it. It's a great summer read. It's such a great beach read or, just a perfect for this weather because it's about these socialites that go and get hired as brand influencers. Mm-hmm. But then it's crazy because it's like a whodunit.
And then mystery.
Right. Woo! And that's what's fun is it's relatable because we all know these brand influencers and stuff. But then there's also this OMG, I have no idea what's going on. And I don't usually read fiction, and this one got me. So
Susie loved it.
She's amazing because she has written for all different kinds of shows. And at the time we interviewed her, I hadn't even read the book yet. And so we were just talking about her career in writing and how she does it and the mechanics of it. And then how she's able to write in the voice of, say, young people. Because she's got kids that are young, teenage and young adult age. But how is she successfully sounding like them? It was a fun interview to do, and we really recommend the book, The Season Airs. You should check it out. And join our book club.
Yeah, oh my gosh, a bunch of you guys have been joining, and you listening should join as well. We are reading some really, really great picks this month. Picks that are going to be turned into movies later, so you want to hop on board and read them with us and gab about them so that later you can
our
be
meetings are so fun.
You know what? The book was better. Because everybody loves doing that.
Be snobby about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the show, Janna.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We're so excited to talk to you. I'm sad, though, because yesterday I got your book. So I normally like to read the book, of course, before I speak to the author. But this time I'm going in blind.
That's a good way to go in.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I am super excited to read it because the premise sounds really great. Can you explain to the audience what the book is about?
The book, it's a novel about brand ambassadors, young 20-something brand ambassadors that spend the summer, this particular summer, in Nantucket representing a clothing line. They get paid big bucks to party, hang out on the beach, wear cute clothes, and, pardon me?
Take pretty pictures.
And that's the whole thing, is that they have to post everything on social media. Like their whole life is curated on social media. And it all looks great and pretty and fun and amazing on the surface. and then shit just goes down pretty hard.
I'm surprised. Like, what made you think this is what I want to go for? Since it's like, it's almost kind of a new thing, the brand ambassador.
Yeah.
Influencer.
Well, I think some people don't even know that it is a thing.
Oh.
The funny thing is, last night I talked to a woman who said she's on a dating site and that the guys actually write no brand ambassadors. So, yeah, that it is like, I guess for some guys, it's a type of girl that posts all the time. And I think it's like something that's come up during dating. She literally just told me this last night.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
It's a whole scene, right, where these people, a lot of women, but also men, will, take all these flashy pictures and be representing different brands and promoting different things. And your book kind of explores that, things are not always as they seem, right?
Yes. I think that things are almost never as they seem, really. I mean, that's the way I like to write, is that, there's stuff underneath. Anything that looks perfect is definitely not perfect. So this seemed like a really fun world to explore. I mean, I know that there are brand ambassadors that have a great time and do fun things, but as far as a story went and fiction went, it was really fun to just kind of go off the rails a little bit.
I noticed in the one of the description things that I read, it's compared it to the TV show Unreal, which obviously is interesting to us because we were in reality TV. And so, are you a person that watches Unreal or what?
I have watched it. I love it. I love the two main characters. They're ballsy as shit and fun to watch. And but I am curious, like, is it scripted? Is there parts of reality TV, like with the challenge, that do they script stuff?
It's not scripted.
It's not scripted,
No.
but there are moments where you feel like you after doing so many of them, you learn what it is that will go on television and what's going in the trash.
Yeah, you get a sense for what they want.
Right. Andy Cohen was saying that that if somebody just is, people love to hate, but they don't want to hate. So they'll get rid of, on like the Real Housewives, they'll ultimately get rid of characters who are really, really disliked. But they, it's like a level of craziness that's
just enough to talk about you.
Yeah.
Which is probably how we feel about, looking at a lot of these Instagram and like brand ambassadors, where we're like, oh, we're just jealous enough to like want to follow them.
Right.
And to keep you interested. But there's a part of you that's like, oh.
It's aspirational.
Yeah. But you're like, I'm jealous.
I actually love to follow. I follow a lot of clothing lines and celebrities who post everything from things that I go, oh, well, that's like oversharing, but it's still really compelling, and then they look gorgeous at events, or they're wearing certain things that I want to buy. I mean, it's kind of, it runs the gamut. It definitely pulls you in. And so I follow,
I want to know how, because I did start the book and I was very amazed because I do not have this gift, at how you were able to capture the way that these kids talk. Like, how the heck do you do that?
I have two that are that age. And I have actually written with my my daughter is 21 and my son just turned 19. And I've written with her before, where we will write dialogue and she'll say, not this in particular, but other things. Well, she'll say, no, we don't talk like that. Like, that's lame. So she did some reading after I wrote the book and gave me notes, but it's just being around them. I'm really, really close to them. They're away at college. My daughter just graduated, and we actually Skype or FaceTime every day. And so I hear about their lives and what they're doing. And I think I'm pretty hooked into that age group and right around that age group.
What's your secret for getting your kids to like you? I want to know.
First of all, they're infinitely more mature than I am on any given day. They tease me mercilessly. I don't know. They're literally my favorite people in the entire world. And they have been since the moment they were. I feel like I got insanely lucky with them. And
usually the parenting helps, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I could take credit, but sure. Okay. I'll take some credit.
That's
Yeah, but I talk to them about a lot of stuff, and then when they don't want to talk about things, I really don't push. So there are some things that we don't discuss.
Well, I was intrigued by your bio because your career sort of followed them in a sense.
Yeah.
Sarah's going to love this. Some of the things you wrote
I saw
for.
that she worked on Dragon Tales. And
I did.
Yeah, man, that's so cool because you were doing that when they were that age, yeah?
Yes, my kids were watching Dragon Tales when I was writing Dragon Tales. I did girls animation. I did Bratz, but my daughter never played with Bratz, so she was very disinterested. And just kind of aged up. But I always wrote grown-up stuff while I was writing kids stuff, and just tried to keep my hands in both worlds.
Was it intentional, though, or coincidence that was?
Well, I think all writers will say we need to eat. So I took jobs that came along, and I love to tell stories. And if it happens to be an animated dragon, then that was really fun. I've written Hallmark Christmas movies. That's been unbelievably fun. I'm writing on Wacky Races right now. I don't know if you remember the show with Dick Dastardly with the mustache and the cars. Yeah, it was from, I think, the 70s. I should know. And they just rebooted it. So I've been doing some of that while I do these other things.
I know that writers, they never tell me the secret because I don't know if they know it, but I'm always like, what's the secret? So like when you wrote Seasonaires versus when you're writing for a kid's show.
I was just going to ask that. Yes, because
we
it's
need
first
to know.
novel versus a whole history of other kind of writing.
Is it the same technique or totally different?
Writing a book was very different than writing for television. It was really, really different. And this was my first novel. So it was a really cool, different, amazing, and very challenging experience.
It seems like it would be brutal.
It's brutal at certain times. I mean, if you hit a blank page, that's gnarly and it's not fun. And it rarely happens, but that's not fun. And that happens whether if you're working on a screenplay or a book. But writing a book is definitely more detail oriented. And when you write for TV, you really leave a lot of that stuff to the director. And it's almost not cool to write too much description because the director takes care of what happens basically. And I've written plays where there's no description, but a book is, you have to be in the room and smell what's in the room and look around and notice the details. And that was the biggest difference for me. But characters are characters, and that's the most fun to write. And also dialogue is absolutely my favorite thing to write. If I could have a superpower, I would be invisible so that I could eavesdrop on everybody's conversations, which I probably do. Sorry if you're sitting next to me. And my husband always says, you can't hear, I'm sitting in front of you and you can't hear what I'm saying, but you just notice what the person across the room is saying. I love conversations. They're interesting, and people and.
Yeah, but that's my whole theory is that what makes you interesting is that you're interested in other people. I think that that's a good trait, mainly because that's what I have. So I'm like real invested in that idea because you're curious. You want to know about stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to know people's stories. I love to make up. I mean, I don't know if you guys do this, but if you're places or doing something, if you see somebody and make up their story. I make up, I feel like I'm going to be murdered twice a day. And when I'm driving down the street, something will happen and I will make it up in like some elaborate thing in my head that is very complicated. So writing a suspense book was really fun because I got to really dig
like almost therapeutic. I mean, it's into words instead of it just existing in your mind.
Yes, exactly.
Is there a character in the book that you really connected to?
I think all of the characters, with the exception, there is one character Otto, who is really a piece of work. All of the characters, all of the seasonaires have pieces of me, messiness and things that have happened. And I just tried to make them really real so that I could relate to them. I think that Mia, the main character, who's sort of the fish out of water, felt the most like how I feel in life a lot of the time, that I feel like I don't really belong where I am. But, Presley is a really fun character. In college, I had in my 20s were really wild. These characters are wild. And so it was fun to write them in that way. So I think they all have pieces of me, but probably Mia the most. And also Mia is, she's ballsier than I am. And my daughter she's the ballsiest girl I know. She's just has balls of steel. And so I kind of was inspired by her moxie when I wrote the character of Mia.
I know our listeners are going to love reading this because it's like checks all the boxes of things that they always want.
Mystery.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like this is the perfect summer book too, because from what I understand about the book, it seems like there's substance and people are super into like true crime and like figuring out the mysteries and all of that. But it's also like fun and it's about the summer. I don't know. I just think it's perfect for our audience. So I'm excited to see what they think of it.
I was really happy when it's been called a beach read. I mean, to me, it's somebody, some of the pre-pub press has said it's juicy and fun. And if people can put it in their beach bag and take it to the beach, I'm super happy about that. I mean, that's great. It's a guilty pleasure. I mean, an Unreal, you mentioned Unreal. I mean, Unreal is a guilty pleasure and reality TV is a guilty pleasure. And so I feel great about that.
Well, and it's kind of like almost exposing our guilty pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
Being the guilty pleasure. Because it's like looking behind the curtain. And then we can feel
like above it all.
Yeah.
We can be like,
right.
Look at us.
Yeah.
We ask everybody one thing, which is, what do you keep in the trunk of your car?
Why did I just want to say a body?
You're not the first person who said
just
that.
For fun.
Surprisingly.
I don't have a body in the back of my car. I have grocery bags, and a lot of clothes that I need to take to Goodwill that I have not. Oh, I'm mentioning more than one thing.
No, you can't.
I have a beach. I actually have a beach mat for going to the park and reading and going to the beach, even though I don't do it very often.
Are you guys related?
Yeah.
Is that what you have?
All the same stuff. That's a good trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're like environmentally conscious and you're also like giving, you donate things, but you also want to go to the park and hang out.
Yeah.
That's real nice. You guys should go out sometime.
To the park. Honor, we'll have a blanket.
What else would you tell people about your book? And also, do you want to continue writing books? Or are you like, that was check the box, now I'm done?
I would love books. I would love to keep writing books. It was amazing. I would keep doing it if people want me to do it. I'm happy to do it. I just, I want people to enjoy the book. I hope that they are surprised at the ending. Yeah. I hope they get a little bit, there's a little bit about social media and my sort of love-hate relationship with social media. I have both. Some days I hate it and I'm still obsessed with it. And I think everybody sort of feels similarly. And there's a lot of clues and mystery revelations that come through the social media aspect of the book, which was really fun, because that's another thing I think about is things that are caught in posts. And is there someone in the background of a post that could be the part of a crime, or somebody who's making out with somebody and that person is married? Like, those things are always really interesting, weird things I think about when it comes to posting on Instagram and Snapchat. And so there's a little bit of that in there too, that I think is compelling.
Now I'm going to have to follow you on Instagram.
Oh, I just posted a really embarrassing picture of me when I was 9 wearing a crochet hat that my grandma made me and a vest. Yeah. So, and I wanted to delete it immediately when I put it up, but I left it on there.
Yeah. Why did you want to delete it?
I don't know. That happens sometimes. Like, I'll put something up and then I'll say, oh, this is stupid, or it's boring, or why did I just do this? Or like, nobody cares. Like, who cares? That's the whole thing too. It's like, nobody cares. So I want to delete. Where
we're like, everyone will want to know about this.
Definitely should post this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. I mean, it's really fun. And now the whole book world and other authors it's a really, really supportive world. I mean, other authors that have books coming out or have had books coming out, and book bloggers, it's a really friendly arena that I like. And Instagrammers, book blogger Instagrammers are great.
I noticed that even to be the case amongst people that are just really into reading.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like our book club, they created their own Facebook group, and they like are so nice to each other, even about stuff that has nothing to do with books.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's a nice community. So I imagine it's even more so if you're all in the drudgery of like writing and creating and then promoting. It's a lot. It's a whole big thing.
It's a good distraction too. And sometimes a little too much of Instagram is a little too much of a distraction. If you don't want to write or whatever you're supposed to be doing, it's fun to scroll through.
We always joke about how whenever you have like a deadline or something, your house is never cleaner.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
But that's not a bad thing, but it's a good way to kill time. But I really want to read it, and I feel like I might have to have a follow-up with you to discuss, but I'm excited to read it, and I'm really excited for our listeners too as well. And you're off the hook, and we just are glad you came on the show.
Thank you so much. And your show is great. I love the fact that you're just honest, and I love the stop being polite.
Thank you.
I love it. I'm going to order a t-shirt because that's a really good motto.
Polite, right?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always horrifying though when like we talk to people and it's like they've listened or they've heard the show. I'm like, oh my God, what did we talk about on that episode? But well, we are so glad to have you on and to hear about your work. Congratulations on your first book.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being interested in what I have to say. And I don't have a body in the back of my car, by the way.
We did interview a funeral director, and he, you know.
Oh, he had a body.
Had a body.
Yeah, he was the only one, though, thankfully.
He was like, not now, but before.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will let you know when this is up. Thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good weekend.
You too. Tell Izzy we said bye.
Bye.
I will, for sure. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.